So on June 13, 2025, Nigeria's financial world shook. The Central Bank of Nigeria suspended dividends, bonuses, and offshore investments for all the banks under regulatory forbearance. And that has caused panic among institutional investors, retail investors. Big names like Access Bank, Zenith, UBA, First Bank, and FCMB were it. Is this just about caution or something bigger? Okay, let's look into it. That's the essence of this video. And this video will be of interest to you if you invested in one of those banks in Nigeria or you invest in Nigerian stock market generally. Let's look into it. What does this mean? The CBN says that it's about prudence. Banks with unresolved risks shouldn't reward shareholders or executives. Or why should a bleeding patient donate blood? It's possible, right? But take a deeper look. This is the regulatory calling out, or let me say this is the regulator calling out the market's biggest players by name. Guys, you need to tell us how healthy you are. That was CBN telling Nigerian banks. So Nigeria's biggest banks hold immense influence, both financial influence and political influence. So now, being under forbearance hurts their reputation. Okay, it hurts their reputation and, in essence, the investors' trust. So right after changes in CBN's leadership, these moves looks like a power play to reassert control over banks that may have grown too dominant. So how would these big banks in Nigeria respond to this? Probably they might lobby quietly to speed up clearance. Yes, there's a possibility of them lobbying the regulators to speed up the clearance process for them. Okay, they could also mobilize groups like Bankers Committee for leverage. They could also use media, the social media, to calm investors and reshape the story, because the public perception, the investors' perception of their position is very critical at this moment. So they could just use just enough to exit the forbearance. That's another thing they could do. Or they could just use legal and political channels to delay or reinterpret the restrictions. On the other side, for CBN, this is a test of strength. Okay, they either hold firm or lose authority. So the stake is big, whether for CBN or for the regulators. So investors are asking, and you must ask, if I'm an investor in Nigerian banking stocks, which banks are genuinely healthy and which have polished PR. Okay, so journalists and analysts need to dig deeper beyond the press releases. For the banks, it's a reckoning: clean up or stay dependent on regulatory mercy. Okay, so now you need to watch out for key dates. There's some key dates that you need to watch out for, which will actually determine what's going to happen next. June 30, that's the deadline for banks to exit forbearance. Next dividend cycles, will payouts resume? Will there be payout in the next dividend cycle? Will CBN publish a clear list of compliant banks? The outcome, like many are saying, will actually shape Nigerian banking for years to come. This is just about finance. It's about control. It's about trust. It's about accountability in Nigeria's financial system. Okay, so now the question is, who holds the power? The answer is still unfolding. Is it CBN, Central Bank of Nigeria, or the 5 big banks? Time will tell.